You are listening to the Call to Action podcast, where we aim to inspire, educate, and inform entrepreneurs and self-starters on tech and tips related to navigating this ever-changing world. Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to episode 33 of the Call to Action podcast. I am your host, Shantae, and on today's episode, I'm going to share some information on a really cool app that is great for creating your promotional graphics. But before I get into today's topic, I have an inspirational quote that I like to share, and it is from me. I actually wrote this. So here is the quote that I created for episode 33 of the Call to Action podcast. The journey begins when you take the first step. Courage, optimism, determination, and enthusiasm are the tools that will help you along the way. I'm going to repeat that because I think it's really cool, not just because I made it up, but because it's a really cool quote. It really resonates. So here it is again. The journey begins when you take the first step. Courage, optimism, determination, and enthusiasm are the tools that will help you along the way. Again, that was written by Shantae, yours truly. I hope you enjoyed that. If you missed episode 32 of the Call to Action podcast, as always, it is a must listen. And in that episode, I shared information on ways to increase your mobile app downloads. That's for the entrepreneurs, the brick and mortar businesses, the restaurant owners, the small business owners. Check that out. If you have not heard that podcast, make sure to go and listen to it after listening to this episode. But listen to this clip to hear some of what I shared in episode 32. So this just gives you an idea, just kind of puts things in perspective about apps. So basically, consumers downloaded 204 billion apps in 2019. That was just last year, 2019. 2% of app users open an app over 100 times per day. Wow, that's a lot. Kind of excessive, but I could see that, I guess, if it's social media. And then 81% of mobile users have Facebook installed. Go to ctamarketing.biz to hear the complete episode. To do that, click on Podcast on the menu. You will see that listed as well as previous episodes. So before I get into the topic for today, I just want to recognize that today is the birthday of the new Call to Action podcast. On this day last year, I launched episode 1 of the Call to Action podcast, and I'm just really excited. This is a new version. If you listen to the first episode, you hear all the backstory. I'm not going to go into that now, but I do want to take a moment to just say thank you and happy birthday to the podcast, and also to say thank you to the guests that have been a part of my journey here on the Call to Action podcast. I have learned a lot from each of you. And your stories are all so unique. And I'm just so happy that you took the time and shared them with me and the listeners of the podcast. So for those of you who may not have heard them, I'm going to give you just a quick rundown of the guests that I had on the show over the year. And this is guests that were on the Fireside Chat on the Call to Action podcast. So here I have TT Banks, and she is a self-published author. I also have the Love Mentalist, Shanae Chase. She was also a guest on the Fireside Chat. I have another author. His name is Matthew John Beneke. I have McGee Matthews, another author. These authors have been just definitely hot on this show. Wonderful, wonderful stories. I also have self-development blogger David Wiseman, another author, H.L. Nida, and I also had the opportunity to have Sarah Stockdale on the show. And she's an entrepreneur and also the founder of Grow Class. Make sure you go and check that episode out as well. Another author, James J.C. Kelly. And I also had the opportunity to have another published author and the host of the Poetic Earthlings podcast. And his name is York Campbell. I also had the opportunity to have author Okan Ukeme Cornelius Dominic, who is also known as Word Chef Baker. And finally, I want to give a big thank you to Obasi David, another fellow entrepreneur and also a published author. So again, I just want to say thank you to each of you for being such a big part of my journey on the Call to Action podcast. And I appreciate you. I'm sending out hugs just all over the waves right now. Your stories have been heard all over the world, from the U.S. all the way to Cyprus and many places in between. So I want to thank the listeners that are tuning in from everywhere. And again, the guests, you guys are just awesome. Thank you so much. You can visit ctamarketing.biz to hear the fireside chats that feature these wonderful people. You can hear each of their amazing stories in the podcasts. So now let's get into today's episode, which is about an app that you may have heard of, and you can use it to create really cool looking promo graphics for your business or your product or your service. And the app is called Canva. And it's a web-based app, and it's also available on mobile devices. So while you're listening, go and check out canva.com. You can go there and get signed up. But let me just tell you a little bit of information about what I've done and my experience with it, because I think it's great. So basically, if you're not a graphic designer and you need to create some really nice graphics for your business, then Canva is definitely the way to go. I'm saying this from experience. I'm not a graphic designer, but Canva has allowed me to do some really cool stuff. So let me just give you some numbers, as I always do, about some things that a small business may run into. So basically, you need a logo. And when you're getting a logo, they can cost, especially if you're hiring a graphic designer. The lowest, I guess, price that you could do would go to like a crowdsourcing website, like, where they actually offer that service. And according to looka.com, the mid-range cost for a logo can start at $99. Now, you may also need flyers to promote your business. And a flyer may cost $98, or it may cost $180 if you're going to do a double-sided flyer. And that's from orimega.com. And then a video. You need video. You got to promote yourself with your videos or promote your product. And a 30-second video, if you're having a production company to produce it, it could start at $1,500. So if you look at adding those things up, and this is as you're planning your launch of your product or even with your business. So things to think about, the cost. Now, that is great if you have a budget, but what if you're a small or a home-based business and you're just getting started? How can you have all of those things for your business and save some money? And you also want to look professional. So these are some of the questions and things that you would deal with as a small business. You got to have your logo, your business cards, a video, because you want to put things out on YouTube or even short clips on social media that promote your product or service. So what I found is Canva, and I started using this last year. And I will say I am very, very happy with this app. I have created my logo using Canva. So the call to action logo, as well as the call to action podcast logo, I did those in Canva, and I did it for less than $5. You can also create flyers and social media graphics. I've used Canva to create my social media promo graphics and videos, and it's all in this wonderful app. Now, you can use Canva to create very attractive images, videos, logos, and other items that you're going to use to market your business, your product, or your service. I will say it is very easy to use. And you can use it on your computer or a mobile device such as your phone or even your tablet. Now, they do offer a free solution that includes access to really nice images that you can use for your social media posts. You can even do t-shirt designs, ebook cover designs, presentations. I mean, really, you can do so much using Canva. Like, again, I'm super impressed with this. And Canva also offers a pro version where you pay for services for the year. But what you get is you get unlimited access to the videos, the images, the animations, all the elements that you can use to create really stunning content. Like, you get access, unlimited access to that for free. Now, something else that Canva does is that it even provides content that's formatted specifically for social media. So you can choose your social media platform that you're using, and it will resize it for that. So if you create a graphic and you did it for Instagram, then you can export it and resize it for Pinterest or for Twitter. Like, it's really cool and it's really easy. And if you wanted to use that same design, like on a business card or on a flyer, it will resize it for you as well. It is just a really, really cool app to use. And I do use Canva for most of my graphic design work. And so go check it out. You can see it on canva.com. Just do your research, go check it out. But I really, really like it. And you can just really create some really nice professional looking graphics yourself. So you can save money and do it for free using their free version of the app. But I recommend doing the paid version just because you get unlimited access. Now, even with the free version, you can buy elements if you needed to. Like, if there's an image you wanted to use, you can buy the license, and they're reasonably priced. I will say that. Like, you can get something for like $1, $2. So it's worth it if you just need to do a little bit. But if you find yourself doing a lot of social media posts and you want to use the Canva elements, I suggest upgrading to the paid version. All right, so this concludes episode 33 of the Call to Action podcast. I hope that you found this information useful. I really like it. So just check it out. Let me know. Also, I don't think I ever mentioned this, guys, but I guess I can. It's my podcast birthday, but you can find me on Twitter. I am very engaging on Twitter. So find me at CTA Marketing. I am also on Instagram and Pinterest. So I post some really cool things out there. So make sure that you find me as CTA Marketing. I'm on both places. So, or all those places I mentioned, more than both. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. So again, find me there. I'll also post this on the website because I don't think I have it on there, but I will. So I'll have it on there. You can find me at those places. So again, everyone, this concludes episode 33 of the Call to Action podcast. Have a wonderful day. And I'm going to repeat my quote that I shared with you earlier. I want you to remember this and take this with you as entrepreneurs and self-starters. The journey begins when you take the first step. Courage, optimism, determination, and enthusiasm are the tools that will help you along the way. Until next time. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Call to Action podcast. Make sure to visit me at ctamarketing.biz. There you can find articles for entrepreneurs and self-starters on tech and tips related to navigating this ever-changing world. Until next time.